What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. One thing I really want to make sure I do is I really want to give props and respect to Shadeur Sanders, right? Shout out to Shadeur Sanders for staying on code. Okay, staying on code with black folks, staying on code with black colleges. Right now, I know some of y'all gonna say, well, Malcolm, Mac, whatever you want to call me, he didn't stay on code because he left the historically black college, which is Jackson State University, right? And he did, right? But the young man is following his father. And at that age, I'm going to do what my father tell me to it all as well, right? You're going to do what your father tells you to do. That's your father. You look up to that man. You live with that man. He takes care of you. He looks out for you. You're going to follow his footsteps and follow his lead. He did what any young man would do. Same thing Shiloh did. The older brother Shiloh did the same thing. So I don't fault him for following his father. Now, I wasn't mad at Deion for leaving Jackson State. And as I said in many videos, I didn't like the way Deion Sanders left Jackson State. I didn't like the way he handled it. Trying to rush and get up out of there as soon as they win the bowl game and not really celebrate with the team. Trying to hurry up and wrap it up so he can get on a plane to Colorado immediately after the game. Ready to run up out of there, get the hell up out of there. And, you know, the exit speech that I saw him give the players. Now, I'm sure it probably was something else after that, but up until that point, the speech he gave to the players when he was announcing that he was leaving, I didn't really like how, I didn't like how it came across, right? But with all that being said, Shadeur Sanders, after he leaves and goes to the big-time college football program, Colorado. Now, Colorado been terrible for years, but, I mean, they're in the Power 5 conference. They're in the Pac-12. When you play and ball out of your mind like that, right, and you put up outstanding numbers, Shadeur went up there and said, man, who was it? Jenny Taft. Jenny Taft, that used to be on FS1 Undisputed. Jenny asked him, how does it feel, so on and so forth. I'm paraphrasing, but she asked him, how does it feel to get this big upset? He like, man, it feels good, man. I was just an HBCU player 2 weeks ago, right? What he's saying was, before I played this game and had these big numbers, 510 yards, he like, man, I was just an HBCU quarterback. Nobody took me serious. Nobody believed in the talent that I had because I was just this player that came from HBCU. I could only do that at the HBCU ranks, right? He like, but now, I'm balling. I went and I proved that, yeah, I'm a player that came from an HBCU, but the same stuff I was doing at the HBCU, I can do here. And I'm going to do here, right? Advocating for this, going against this narrative that HBCU players can only put up big numbers at the smaller schools, right? And they can't do it at the FBS level, which is a lot of players, man. Like, I promise y'all, if a lot of these FCS players, HBCU players were given certain opportunities, you can see them play well within these programs. I'm not saying all of them would go to the league. I'm not saying all of them would be college football stars or all Americans or nothing like that. But you can see them, a lot of them be more than formidable or and put up close numbers in what they were doing at the HBCU ranks because some of these players are just that good, right? A lot of people get caught up in names, and that's what Shadeur Sanders was saying. A lot of people get caught up in names and all of that. In football, y'all, I promise y'all, it's dudes that got high rankings. When they get to college, they be trash. And then they got to come down to where the HBCUs at because it come to find out they were never that good as what people thought. They got to college and got exposed. I've seen players at the HBCU ranks come and move up, go to other schools. I've seen players at the HBCU ranks and I get those opportunities. But I know talent. I know talent in football and see them dudes can play at big levels and ball out. So Shadeur is trying to dead that narrative, right? And they ask him about, and I know what y'all gonna say too, but Shadeur is a 4-star prospect, and he was. Travis Hunter was the biggest, the number one recruit. So, okay, it was a forgiven. It was everybody kind of, you could say, oh, he was going to go to the league regardless, right? Because he was a 5-star recruit. He's number one player in the country. Shadeur was a 4-star recruit, but Shadeur was going to Florida Atlantic. It's not a hotbed for just a football program, perennial football powerhouse. While Shadeur was a 4-star recruit, I feel like Shadeur really honed. Now, again, his father had him working with some elite people, going to Tom Brady camp and all of that. But he was really able to hone his ability and really get the reps in to be dominant and to be excellent while he was on the HBCU ranks. He got his feet wet, not his feet wet. He stepped all the way in the water, right? And was swimming in the deep waters in the HBCU ranks and was able to flex his muscle and able to showcase what he could do at that level and able to play through certain mistakes, to rise to the occasion, to hone his craft at the HBCU ranks, right? Say what you want to say. He ain't never put up 500 some yards on Mississippi Valley State University, okay? He ain't never put up them numbers on none of them HBCU teams. He put up that on TCU. I'm gonna say dude now. On TCU, right? And so in the conversation as well, they talking to him. He say, well, you know, look, what do you think about Travis Hunter, your teammate? He playing both sides of the ball like that. It's looking phenomenal. And he say, man, Travis has been playing both sides of the football. He's been doing that. He did that at Jackson State. It's just being amplified now because we're on the FBS level now. But he always been playing like this. He always played both sides of the football, right? And then they asked him about, oh, but you know, I don't really remember the reporter's question because you really couldn't hear them that well in the clip that I heard. But then, you know, they basically was asking basically like about how they've been eating and training. And Shadeur like, yo, we've been eating and training the same way the entire time. We were eating and training and working out like this at Jackson State. Right? We were doing all of this at the HBCU. We were doing all of this there. The only difference between FCS and FBS is how quick the pass rushers come off of the edge. Right? But other than that, like, it's look, man, it's great players across the FCS and FBS ranks. Right? It's just certain players have certain names, and y'all just think a lot of them HBCU dudes can't ball up there. And Shadeur is trying to dead that narrative by saying, hold on, wait a minute. Dude, look, listen, we've been doing this at the HBCU ranks, man. He been balling. He been able to play like that, man. We've been playing like this. It's just the world didn't believe it because what we were doing it at, they said it wasn't legitimate, right? But as you know, man, if people can say it was many, many moons ago, Steve McNair, was his numbers not legitimate? Jerry Rice, was his numbers not legitimate? Right? Michael Strahan. All HBCU products. You know, so it's just like, man, it's crazy how this goes, man. I didn't play, I'm sorry. I wrote an article on a young man by the name of Julian Stafford. I can put the article and the link to this video, right? I wrote an article that got published on ESPN when I was at Mississippi Valley State University. I think I was going into my junior year, right? And going into my third year at Mississippi Valley. Julian Stafford, we called him JD. JD could have played at any level. JD was that good, right? 5'10", but quick as hell. Great hands. Exceptional route running, right? I mean, he could block. He could do all the things people thought, you know, the big-time players should be able to do. JD could do it all. He was just that dominant. He was just that explosive. And I thought of giving the opportunity, if he would have went to University of Memphis, if he went to University of Mississippi, if he would have went to Mississippi State, if he would have went to any other these other programs, if he was just given an opportunity, y'all would have saw what JD really could do. JD was, I mean, he was just that talented, y'all. Look at it. You can look at JD's highlights from Valley. He was exceptional. He got 1,000 yards receiving with 3 different quarterbacks coming in, interchanging at Mississippi Valley. We didn't even have a real starting quarterback, and he still got 1,000 yards. He was just that, my son. Right here. He was just that dynamic, man. He was just that special, right? And I'm like, if only they would give him a chance. If only they would have, like JD, but he would run like a 4.4. He really was a gifted receiver for real. And I'm like, if they would have gave him the opportunity, you would have really saw how dope, how special he is. Or not just giving him the opportunity, not going to, not just if he would have went to the big schools, right? I just saying, I know JD would have been able to do that. I know he would have been able to do what he did in Mississippi Valley. He would have been able to do it at them bigger programs. He definitely would have been able to, especially if he had one consistent starter all year that he could just keep chemistry with for many, many years. JD had different quarterbacks every year and was still big time every time. He could do kick return. He could be an excellent receiver. I'm like, if he could have did the same thing there. So this notion that HBCU players can only do it at the HBCU, BS, man. Robert Simpson, another dude, defensive tackle at Valley. Right? Mississippi Valley. Robert Simpson was special. Robert could have did that. Robert was phenomenal. He could have did that at any other schools. Right? We had another, what's my man? Avery Boykin, cornerback from Mississippi Valley. Avery was nice. Led the SWAC in pick sixes. Avery could have did that at other schools. He was just that good, man. It's just people didn't want to believe it or believe what they were seeing because, oh, you're not playing against Alabama, you're not playing against LSU, you're not playing against Florida, Florida State, Ohio State, Michigan, you're not playing against Auburn or Georgia, you're not playing against USC and all these other schools. Like, man, listen, man. Shadeur is trying to dead that. He like, look, man, I was just an HBCU player 2 weeks ago. That show you. We can do this, man. It don't matter, like, these HBCU dudes at the HBCU ranks, they can come to the big-time college programs and be key contributors. And it can have big-time success. I'm not saying not all of them can. Hell, it's dudes that can come from the big schools that can't come down there and ball at the swag level. I didn't see them come from the big schools and still have trouble at the swag level. Okay? Right? And because this is another thing, too, because stop saying this, too. Well, now Shadeur is at Division I. Jackson State is Division I football. Mississippi Valley State is Division I football. It's Division I FCS. Okay? It is. Now, Division I FBS, he's in Division I FBS now. Because some people act like Valley is not Division II. Jackson State is not Division II football. It's Division I. It's just a difference between the FCS and the FBS. Okay? But Shadeur like, hold on, man. Let me get us the opportunity, especially with how his father exited the Jackson State program. He like, let me come out and let me speak up for the HBCU kids. Because he's really not just speaking for himself and Travis Hunter. He's saying in general. Look, man. We like the only difference is how quick the pass rushers come off the edge, man. We've been training and eating the same way. We've been playing like this, man. We can play like this. It's just being amplified now because we're here. But we've been balling like this, man. You know, I was just an HBCU guy in. When people put up the numbers at the HBCU, oh, they only doing it because they HBCU guys. Look, I'm telling y'all, man. Go scout these players, man. Try to go draft these dudes and see what they can do. They can show you they can do it at the major. A lot of these dudes, I'm not saying all of them, not saying all of them. You're going to find dudes who can do that anywhere they go because they just that good. They're just that good. And Shadeur, I believe, is just that damn good. Travis Hunter is damn sure just that damn good. But yeah, man, all of that's, because you at the HBCU. He like, no, man. Just because we was at the HBCU, we can do that there. It transfers over. But for some reason, I'm going to make a video about this. If you doing it at the HBCU level, oh, he ain't doing that. It ain't for real. The numbers are inflated. It's not for real. It's not for real. It's not serious. It really ain't real because he ain't doing it against Alabama now. All right, y'all. Get them boys the opportunity. Watch what they can do. Machiavelli Mills TV, I'm out. Peace.